Wedding planners, what's the worst couple you've ever worked for? I was hired to plan this wedding for a couple, and the second I met them, I knew it was going to be rough. The husband, Callan, super chill, just nodding along to everything. But his fiancée, Skylar, she was on me from day one. We had our first meeting, and I showed them some venue options that were beautiful. She literally said these look like barns. Hello? One of them was a literal 5-star hotel with marble columns and chandeliers that probably cost more than my car. I said, this venue has hosted celebrity weddings. She goes, well, maybe they had bad taste too. Callan just sat there staring at his phone like he was praying for an emergency work call. I tried showing her different themes. She'd spend 30 minutes critiquing the shade of white I picked for the napkins. Dude, it's white. She held 2 napkins up to the light, squinted like she was inspecting diamonds, and said, this one feels aggressive. Aggressive? It's linen, not a weapon. Every single decision turned into a full interrogation. I'd suggest flowers. She'd ask if I even knew what I was doing. I have a degree in event planning and 7 years of experience. But sure, Skylar, tell me more about your Pinterest board from 2019. I showed her catering menus, and she said the font was giving divorced energy. What does that even mean? I asked her to clarify. She said, you know, like Times New Roman but sadder. I looked at Callan. He just shrugged like his soul had left his body 3 meetings ago. The worst part, Callan would just sit there like a hostage, occasionally saying, yeah babe, you're right, while I could see the pain in his eyes. At one point, she asked him what he thought about the centerpieces. He said, I think they're nice. She snapped, nice? That's all you have to say. He looked at me like he was silently begging me to call off the wedding for him. 2 weeks before the wedding, she called me at 11 p.m. Not a text, a full phone call. I answered because I thought someone died. She goes, I had a vision. A vision. At 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. She said she needed to change the entire color scheme, from blush and gold to emerald and burgundy. I told her it was way too late, and she threatened to leave a bad review if I didn't make it happen. She said, I don't care what it takes. This is my day. I wanted to say, it's also Callan's day, but he looks like he's attending his own funeral. Instead, I just said, I'll see what I can do. I spent the next 72 hours pulling string, calling in favors, and somehow made it work. I had florists working overtime. I had the venue crew repainting accent walls. I personally drove to 3 different stores to find emerald napkins, because apparently the ones I ordered online were too forest. Not enough jewel tone. I didn't sleep. I lived off cold brew and spite. Wedding day comes. Everything looked perfect. The emerald and burgundy looked stunning. The flowers were magazine worthy. Even the napkins had the exact jewel tone she wanted. I stood in the back, exhausted but proud, waiting for her reaction. She walked in, looked around, and you know what she said? It's fine, I guess.